You might think a dress is just fabric, but for one bride, that single garment became the breaking point of a friendship, revealing that sometimes, the biggest fights aren't about the dress itself, but about who gets to feel special first. Imagine the scene. It's the height of summer, the air is thick with the promise of Nashville humidity, and you are standing in the center of a storm you never wanted to start. You are the chill bride, the one who promised everyone that the only thing stressing you out should be the stress of the wedding day itself. You are saving every possible penny, turning your cousin's home in Antioch into a wedding headquarters, and driving down in a van with your family because you believe that love is about sharing the journey, not just the destination. You have a vision of perfection. You have found the holy grail of bridal fashion, inclusive sizing, a color that makes your heart sing, and a price tag that was practically a gift from the universe. You buy the dresses. You tell your bridesmaids, you cover the alterations, I cover the gown. It seems like a fair trade, a partnership, a shared investment in beauty. And then the cracks begin to show. It starts in December, months before the big day. You see a photo on social media. It's your bridesmaid, Roxy, at a work Christmas party. And there she is, wearing the exact dress you bought for your wedding. Your blood runs cold. You wanted the big reveal to be a moment of magic, a singular, exclusive sight where your friend group sees her in that color for the first time, standing at the altar with you. Instead, you see her in an HR office mixer, a rerun of a moment that was supposed to be yours. You bite your tongue. You tell yourself it's petty. You tell yourself you're the chill bride that you shouldn't stress, but the seed of doubt is planted. Then comes the bombshell. A mutual friend is getting married in June, just 1 month before your own. It's a massive gathering. Half your wedding guests will be there. You ask Roxy what she plans to wear. Her response is casual, almost breezy. Oh, I'm just wearing the bridesmaid's dress from your wedding. I look hot in it, and it's my favorite. The pause is deafening. The silence stretches out, heavy with unspoken words. You tell her with all the politeness you can muster that you do not want her to wear the uniform to a wedding filled with your mutual friends right before your big day. You want the first time they see it to be on your day. But Roxy, feeling cornered, snaps back. She claims you are being a bridezilla. She points out that you said you wanted them to have a dress they could wear again. She argues that since she paid for the alterations, she has invested just as much money into the dress as you did. She is right, technically. The math checks out, but the emotional logic is different. You, the bride, the one who bought the gown, the one who set the theme, the one who is terrified of a moment being ruined, feel like you are losing control of your own narrative. You are the asshole, right? You are being unreasonable about a piece of fabric. The other bridesmaids are on your side. They understand the exclusivity of the moment, but Roxy feels isolated. She feels like you are dictating her life, treating her like a child who doesn't know better. The tension is palpable. The friendship is hanging by a thread, and then the update comes, the resolution. You meet for dinner, you are nervous. She is already there, and she is the first to stand to hug you to apologize. And suddenly, the armor drops. You are both crying in the middle of a restaurant, the tears of a conflict that seemed so small suddenly feeling so massive. What you discover in those tears is a story far deeper than a dress. Roxy has been depressed. She feels like the odd one out, the only single person in a group of friends where everyone else seems to be moving forward. Even the friend who is asexual has a partner. It's a feeling of isolation that cuts deep. She tells you about the men she has tried to date and how none of them fit. The first one couldn't stand her dog, wanting to keep the pet outside in a doghouse rather than inside the home where the dog is family. The second one was so obsessed with his ex-wife's infidelity that every conversation, from movies to hiking, was tainted by stories of her cheating, wearing ponytails, or going to the movies. And the third one, he just loved fart jokes too much. She needed maturity, she needed respect, she needed to feel pretty. Then comes the dress, the night of the office party. She was procrastinating, panicked, and desperate for something to wear. She went shopping and found nothing. She went to the store, to the very place you bought your dresses, and found nothing in her size that made her feel confident. So in a moment of desperation, she put on the bridesmaid dress, and the transformation was instant. She felt beautiful. She felt seen. She got compliments from strangers. She caught the eye of a colleague, Aja, who became a new friend. They watched Bridgerton Asterisk, they shared their dogs, and suddenly she felt like she was on the rise, getting promoted, getting noticed. The dress was a shield against the loneliness, a suit of armor that made her feel like she belonged. But then the wedding talk started. You, in your excitement, were talking about the wedding, about the dress, and suddenly the funk returned. The feeling of being the single one, the feeling of being left behind. When she said she would wear the dress to the other wedding, it was a joke, but your reaction, your anger, your command made her feel small. She felt like a child being told what to wear by a mother figure. She threw a tantrum, a desperate act of reclaiming her agency. But in that moment, she also realized she had been using the dress as a coping mechanism, a way to feel pretty in a world that was making her feel invisible. You realize that your anger was valid, but your delivery was harsh. You realize that for her, the dress wasn't just a piece of clothing, it was a lifeline. And for you, it was a symbol of your day, your dream, your exclusivity. The conflict wasn't about the dress, it was about two people trying to navigate their own insecurities and finding themselves in each other. The resolution is sweet. Roxy agrees not to wear the dress to the other wedding. She apologizes for the outburst. You apologize for making her feel like a child. You realize that you were both a little bit of an asshole, but that doesn't mean you can't be friends. You share a laugh about the Misfit and Hologram, names from a cartoon you both loved as kids. You acknowledge that Reddit was right, but you also acknowledge that you are both human, and that sometimes the things we fight over are just the surface of much deeper waters. As you sit there, the tension dissolves. The dress is safe in her closet, no longer a weapon or a shield, but just a dress. And the friendship, though bruised, is stronger. You realize that being a chill bride doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or letting others walk all over your vision. It means communicating, understanding, and finding the balance between your needs and theirs. It means realizing that the person you love the most might be the one who needs the dress the most to feel like they are part of the group, even if they aren't the one getting married. So what would you have done? If you were the bride, would you have held your ground on the exclusivity of the dress, risking the friendship? Or would you have understood the deeper emotional weight the dress held for your friend? If you were Roxy, would you have worn the dress to the other wedding, risking the bride's anger? Or would you have found a way to communicate your feelings without a tantrum? This story reminds us that weddings are not just about the perfect day, the perfect dress, or the perfect venue. They are about the people we bring into that day, the emotions we carry, and the fragile lines between us that can snap under the pressure of a single, beautiful garment. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most important thing we can do is listen, not just to the words, but to the silence between them. And sometimes, the best ending isn't about who was right or wrong, but about who is willing to hug you first. The drama of the dress is over. The drama of the friendship is just beginning, but it's a drama worth having. Because in the end, the memories of the wedding day will be the ones that last, not the fight over the fabric. And as you stand there, looking at your bridesmaids, you realize that the real beauty wasn't in the dress, but in the forgiveness that followed.